and life. Here is the Brother Leon Show. You better recognize.
What's going on, listeners? This is your boy, Brother Leon, and I hope you enjoyed your Valentine's Day. Yes! I hope you celebrated love, because today is the best day ever. It is now 50% off on all Valentine's Day candy. So now you can get your chocolate fix. If you are recovering from last night's festivities, if you're off today, you could definitely sleep till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But hey, guys, I want to tell you today we have a returning guest. We have Lauren Hope. So, guys, I'm getting ready to call her right now.
Hello there.
Hey, how you doing, Miss Hope?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm real good. It's good to have you back on the show. Let's give you some applause. So I was just talking to the listeners. I was just saying, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed your Valentine's Day. But I'm not gonna lie. I think probably today is my favorite day. 50% off.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, 50% off on all candy.
Right. All right. Oh, you know what? I actually didn't think about that.
Oh yeah. 50% off. 50% off. I'm like, man, normally
very tempting. It's very tempting.
Yeah, because normally, I buy that Dove chocolate. I'm like, man, that bad boy be, $4 and up sometimes. I can get it for like $2.
True story. I respect it.
Yeah, but anyway, how have you been since the last time we talked? I mean, what's been going on with your Good Girl Chronicles?
Well, I'll be really open and transparent. As a mental health advocate, it's been a challenging couple of months.
Okay.
And I'm just coming out of a depressive episode. And so that was really challenging and hard. And I just want to mention that just because there are a lot of people that live with depression and anxiety, but overall, a lot of us are facing mental health crises in a way we never have before because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So I am feeling better. I'm getting back to my routine and things like that. But it was rough for a while. It really was.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: what were some of the things that really helped you during that whole episode, during that whole season?
It's so challenging. Continuing to go to therapy when it's super, super hard and you're super low and down on yourself and you don't see any hope in it getting better. So I want to say that I'm proud of myself for continuing therapy and increasing my therapy during that time. Being open to different medication changes and things like that, that's definitely helping. Mm-hmm. And then once the depression has started to lift, getting back to the things that really excite me, which are my creative passions, writing, things like that. So it's been a collaboration of things helping me get back on track.
Wow. I think one of the things that, a lot of times we take for granted at times is some of the things that we used to do, because depression at times, even the things that you love, it tends to take that away. You don't want to do it anymore. It's like, I don't have the energy. But I thank God that, you found the strength to pick back up the things that brought you passion, that brought you change. So I'm going to give you some applause for that. I thank God for that.
Well, thank you.
So let me, no, go ahead.
I also want to say that, I have like a small circle of really intimate friends who were really aware, hey, something is like off or something's not right. And they called and checked in on me and that kind of stuff. I tell people all the time, like, if you think something is up with your friend, like, that should be the reason to call. I mean, worst comes to worst, it isn't, and you just showed them that you cared. So I'm grateful for friends who are like, we don't have you on the prayer line, girl. I'm calling you. Let me take you out for coffee. That was definitely helpful too, because it can be hard to get out of it by yourself.
Yeah, because the Bible says that there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and a brother
That's
is made.
right. That's right.
And a
That's
brother is made for the day of adversity. So I thank God for your friends. We gotta give them some applause too.
Yes.
So hey, tell us about your little dog, because I always see
Boo.
your little dog, yes, Boo, in all of your pictures most of the time. It's like probably about 95% of your pictures. I know he helped you.
Oh yes. So let's tell the listeners I have a 9-pound rescue Chihuahua who I adore. And it's so interesting. Some mornings, some days, he was the only reason I got out of bed, because I knew I needed to feed him and walk him and things like that. And so I really believe in the emotional support that animals can provide. He's so great. He's funny, and just knowing that he needs me is a big, big motivator. That's my guy.
Yeah. I think the thing is that a lot of people, they don't look at what pets do, because they become family. It's like, you know that, hey, he's always dependent on you, but then in the same token, he's never going to judge you. Even on your worst day, he's going to run to you. You know what I mean?
He's so great. And he's very, like a lot of animals are intuitive. When I was sad, he'd come and sit in my lap and let me, hug him and love on him. So it would have been a lot harder without him, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us, you've been, being very transparent about your journey and everything.
Yeah.
So have you been doing any YouTube videos?
Yeah, so when I was depressed, I literally checked out of social media. I logged off of everything. I wasn't YouTubing at all. And when you're depressed, you just think the world doesn't care. And so then I started getting messages like, hey, where are you? I missed you. And so, I did a few YouTube videos being really honest about, what my depression is and what it looks like. So I blog weekly, talking about the journey of rebuilding my life. From the last time we talked, I think I shared I was homeless for a year, and that takes a lot to rebuild. And so now I really have been blogging about what, fully accepting yourself looks like, self-love, and then, what does it look like to build your new happy? I'm going to be 37 this year. So it has me thinking about what I want to do post grad school, and what does happiness look like to me in a pandemic? Because, I know that version of happy has changed for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. I think right now, probably my happy place is every time I have to take COVID tests weekly. And
wow.
Oh yeah. And just because of the nature of the work that I do and the people that I'm around. And it's like, Lord, this can get exhausting, but I am thankful and I am grateful that every time so far I've been getting that text or, getting the screenshot or going to the email that says negative. So I'm thankful for that. I think that's probably my new happy place right now. And I'm like, hey, if I could just celebrate with a glass of wine, I'm happy.
I hear you. You're right. That's really a blessing. Even people in their 30s, I've heard their experiences with COVID, and I'm like, I really don't want to experience that. So I try to minimize my exposure as much as possible.
Yeah. I know, it's definitely risk that I have to take, definitely going to the store, gas station,
right.
Work. But I think the thing right now is that I try to limit my contact with a lot of people, even with my work colleagues. And a lot of people are like, oh, man, you don't want to hang around? I'm like, nah, dude. And I just give them the old adage, it's not you, it's me. Sorry.
I live with people, and I have to be very conscious of that. If I bring it home to them too. Yeah. And so, I see people having parties and this and that, and I'm like, I cannot. I'm so sorry, I can't. And I'll be very honest with them. My responsibility is, to me and to the people I live with to be safe. So
yeah. Like my kids are all grown, and I told them, I said, hey, if we gonna get together, y'all gotta have to take a COVID test the week of. Like we had to get together for Christmas, and only one of my kids showed up because the rest of them couldn't get COVID tests. I'm like, come on, guys, I gave y'all this months in advance.
Right. No, that's smart though. It's tough, and I know it's hard on families, but you're so right. That's what needs to be done for sure.
Yeah. So I just shake my head. So I mean, we got a couple more big events that are supposed to be popping up. So I say, hey, look, we ain't doing this unless everybody has a COVID test. So
right. No, that's smart. That's smart. And that's why really I used to be really big into hosting live events, storytelling events. I haven't done any in a year.
Okay. All right. I totally feel you. I totally get you on definitely keeping people safe, because I'm gonna be transparent. My sister, she doesn't go out at all. And, and the crazy thing is that one of her sons ended up getting it and bringing it back to her.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So I'm thank God that, she was able to, get past it and everything like that. And her sons were able to get past it. But I just look at it like, this whole COVID thing, I'm like, hey, it's not a hoax. And the crazy thing about it is that, man, when it hits home, I mean, it really hits home. I think probably the most torturous thing during that whole episode was when she went into the hospital and could nobody visit.
Right. Oh, that's the worst. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. So I look at it like this. Hey, we got to begin to really start taking a lot of safeguards. I think a lot of times what I see right now is that a lot of people got tired and a lot of people got lax.
Oh my gosh, I get it.
Yeah. I'm like, I see people going to I'm like, ain't no way. I'm like, nah, man. I had a buddy of mine. Hey, dude, come on, man. Nah, I'm not partying. Sorry.
Yeah, no, someone invited me to a concert and I was like, what? With young people? Oh no.
Oh my God. Let me tell you this. I was in a pizza shop, and it's a local high school across the street from the pizza shop that I was in. And they let out from soccer practice, and all the teenage kids came in halfway wearing masks, no mask. I'm like, oh my God, I never was so afraid in my life.
Yeah. You are very right in that I can understand people getting complacent or tired, or they haven't had someone close to them, be exposed to COVID or get COVID. So it's like, oh, I'm good. And, young people naturally have this idea of invincibility. But there's still ways to go out and be out and to be safe.
Yeah. I think, we got to just look at innovation and really try to reinvent the things that were familiar to us. Correct. Even with dating, like right now, I'm like, hey, man, your phone game got to be on point now in these COVID days.
It does. It really does. You are so right. Interestingly enough, I had like a virtual date.
Yeah.
Last week, and it was actually really interesting. And I think there's something to how COVID has forced us to be more creative and more intentional about our communication.
Yeah.
So because of COVID, I don't see this person. So we're getting to know each other through text and call, and we FaceTime for the first time the other day. And it was like really a great conversation.
That's good.
So, I mean, it's not all bad. It's tough, but it's not all bad.
Yeah. Because I was like, well, I never thought, because see, when I was coming up, your phone game had to be on point. I'm serious. Back in the 90s, your phone game had to be on.
We didn't have Snapchat, Instagram, all of this stuff. You're very right.
Yeah, because I'm like, I mean, they just online stuff just really popped off. I'm still on AOL, and I remember, they had Love AOL, and then I ended up going to, oh my God, I think it was.
Love AOL. I love that.
Love AOL. What other dating site I was on? Hampton Roads, Black Planet, plenty of.
Yep, I remember Black Planet. Yep.
Black people meet. I'm like, oh my God. And the crazy thing is that back then your phone game had to be on. I never thought.
You're so right.
I never thought back then the communication style and the way that I talk back then it would be relevant now. Because now it's like, you got to start putting words, because a lot of people just text now. Now it's just like swipe culture, So
you're right. And I think, as I've been kind of slowly edging back into the the dating app world, I'm starting to notice that, that game is not as strong for some people,
Oh, yeah.
because we have all of these different ways to communicate. That's kind of been like a lost art. But for the person I had the virtual date with, very funny, super smart. And I think that the reason we were able to have that great FaceTime was because we had a couple of days of talking and growing and getting to know each other. So
yeah,
there could be some positives to what COVID is forcing us to be closer.
Yeah.
When it comes to communication.
Yeah. And I think, just the communication part in itself, because I used to gauge if me and her can't vibe on the phone, the hell we're going to Applebee's.
Oh my God. This one guy that I talked to, he called me. He was like, so I felt like I was asking more of the questions. I don't know if he was nervous. And it's a lost art, Leon. It's a lost art.
Yeah. So I look at it, even if you do have a guy that can hold a conversation, I think you can build off of that, but also get to the place where, you don't want to tell too much too soon and everything.
Sorry.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. So definitely build off the whole, the whole conversation piece. And I look at it like this. I'm like, man, if old boy is like, nah, just giving you one word answers, I'm like, nah,
It was a little awkward, but I also understand that like men have a lot of pressure when it comes to dating. Yeah. We expect you to ask us out first. We're reading all of these things in a date. Like I get it.
Yeah. But you know what I appreciate now is that now, some of the roles of what men would normally do, you have some women right now, they don't have no problem asking a guy out. They don't have no problem giving a guy their number. I was like, whoa. Sure. I remember one time I saw this video of a woman proposing to a guy. I was like, oh, hell
no, that's where I draw the line.
That's where I draw the line, too. I'm like, man, please, even if I was single, ain't no way in the world a girl gonna get down on her one knee and ask. I'm like, no. I'm supposed to do that.
But you know what, though? You are right. We are in a time where gender roles are blurred and like almost non-existent.
Yeah.
But I'm still really old-fashioned in that I appreciate those gender roles. Like a man opening the door for you and asking you out first. And I guess I just need to adjust it. That's not how the world is. Because I think sometimes some men are like, I'm waiting, I'm expecting. And you're like, girl, you're an independent woman. Like.
Yeah. And I mean, I totally
There are some traditional gender roles that I appreciate.
Yeah. There's definitely some I definitely appreciate too. And I think probably the proposal for marriage, I appreciate that because I feel as though that if you're going to have this woman take your name, then you need to be the one to get down on one knee. That's just me. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
So, and when you really look at it, if you are a woman and you asking for this guy's hand in marriage and you going to take his name, it's like, okay, nah, come on, boo. You getting down on one
I think
knee?
I saw that same video and I saw like, she was like on her knee. I was like, sister, you are better than me.
Yeah. But it just goes back. I mean, I get where some women are. I get the whole thing with the things have changed. I totally get that. Even the face of traditional families have changed. I totally get all of that, and I'm accepting of it. So, I think at the end of the day, it's just certain things. Hey, when it comes to marriage, I feel like, hey, look, if they're gonna take your name, you need to get down on knee.
Correct. I feel you on that. Yeah,
that's just me.
I feel that.
But definitely, I love the virtual stuff that's happening right now. People going on virtual dates, having virtual dinners. I love all of that because now you have to make sure that your communication game is up, that you are listening because a lot of people don't listen. Mm-hmm. I'm serious.
True.
A lot of people don't listen. And I think a lot of times, even when you're dating, it's like, well, hey, I told you this in the beginning, of us dating. Well, I guess you wasn't listening. Well, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my phone. So now, so now it's like, you better listen. You better, not only do you have to look at your phone to see what is text and even being said and what the person is saying on video, you have to make sure that you listen.
Yep. So true. So true. So yeah, I'm here for more virtual dates. I'm thinking about going on Match or eHarmony because some of them, from my experience, like depending on what app you go on, is what type of experience you're going to have. Like if you go on Tinder, you know, Tinder very much is a hookup site or people who are not looking for serious relationships.
Yeah.
Bumble is, I don't know if you ever heard of Bumble, is where the woman makes the first move.
No, I never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. They have, so Bumble has a lot of facets to it. You can do Bumble for friendship, like if you want to find a same-sex friend, which is always like weird to me, but whatever. And then, but in the dating portion, the woman has to swipe right for the match to even happen. And then when the match happens, I have to make the first move or the match doesn't go anywhere.
Wow. Okay. That's
Isn't that interesting?
Different. Yeah, that is.
I find on Bumble too, I don't know what it is about Bumble. Like it's just a lot of men who just want like emotional support, like a lot of chatty patties, but they don't actually, I've probably been on one date from Bumble in the whole time I've ever been on Bumble.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I feel generally the ones that you have to pay for are the ones where people are a little bit more serious. I mean, because it's coming out your account every month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just been my experience.
Oh yeah. I think, you know, even with that, I think after a while I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this 3 months, and if nothing don't happen, I'm done. I'm going back to traditional stuff.
Right, but what is traditional? Like, where do you meet people now? Like, you know, the grocery store scenery. That's not going to pop off because people wearing masks and everyone's scared. Like, why are you getting this close to me?
Yeah.
I don't see it happening in the gym. I'm trying to think of the places I go on a regular basis, and
well, I think now things have definitely changed. I think right now, if you definitely want to meet a person, you have to be accepting that they have attractive eyes.
Right.
Because it might be different as soon as they pull that mask down, like, oh, God.
I feel you. You know what's not a bad thing either? A couple of years ago, Facebook added to its app Facebook Dating.
Yeah.
And Facebook Dating is not bad. Generally, they connect you to people that you like have a mutual friend of, and then on Facebook, you can like kind of research people.
Yeah.
Last year, I had like a really nice, brief, well, not nice, an interesting love affair with someone from Facebook Dating.
Okay.
So I like Facebook Dating.
Okay, you know what? I never knew they had Facebook Dating because
Good Girl Chronicles knows we got our finger on the pulse.
Okay. That's definitely keep it there. Keep it there.
Keep an eye out for Facebook Dating. I've tried Tilly, Coffee Meets Bagel. Oh my gosh, I've tried so many.
Wow. So let me ask you this, because I think a lot of times, you know. What has been your experience? What's the one thing that has been consistent, you know, just being on the apps and searching? What's been the most consistent thing?
Like just anything that I've seen a lot on the app?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I'm always a little comforted by the fact that, like, you know, I'm not the only one who's struggling with dating in my 30s. I think dating after 35 is really tough because you've had a lot of different life experiences. Chances are you may have had a kid or two or a divorce. So you're bringing all of these experiences to it. Like, you know, when you're in your 20s, you're wide-eyed. And there's so much you don't know.
Yeah.
So for most people, it's a struggle. They're like, where do we meet people? What do we do? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that connection these days. It really is. Isn't that so weird? I read so many articles and studies about this that like electronics and technology and social media has made us more connected than ever, but we're lonelier than people report being lonelier than they ever have before.
Yeah. You want to know why? Because break
it down for me. Tell me what your thoughts is. Why are we lonelier, but we're more connected?
Because, you know, I look at it like this. Social media can only take you but so far.
true.
I think the thing that we have to really get back to is actual, personal communication and being able to look a person in the eye. Because a lot of people, they make the connection, just off of the conversation based off of, okay, man, he was looking me in my eyes and I was just lost. Stuff like that. But I look at it, even in this time, we got to make the moments count. Seriously. I look at it like this. If I'm willing to get a test, if I'm willing to spend, X amount of dollars for 20 minutes of your time, we definitely got to make it count. I'm turning my phone off. It's going to be us talking, whether it's 6 feet apart or at a table or whatever. Just make the moment count. And you can make the moment count at Panera Bread. I'm serious.
You're very right. You are very right. Very right.
And I look at it, just don't discount anything. I mean, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's, a parking lot, a drive-by, just the fact that, making the effort to put that, to make that moment count. And I think a lot of times with social media, we've gotten so used to, signals, just the emojis. That's just, some of the symbolism behind social media. And I think a lot of times we gotten so used to it that we have accepted that is the way that we communicate now. I'm like, nah, man, we got to go back to really talking. And I know I'm not going to lie. I think now I have to really rediscover even my communication, because now it's like, hey, I have to learn how to put the phone down. Because I'm constantly
right. No, I hear you.
I'm constantly checking, and even multitasking. Sometimes multitasking is a bad thing. Sometimes you just need to focus. And my wife gets annoyed. She's like, "I'm trying to talk to you. You looking at your phone." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let me put my phone down."
Right.
So I think that's the one thing that we really have to start practicing on. If we're going to conversate, let's conversate. Turn the phone over. Turn the phone off. Let's go at it. I'm serious. And
that's right, yeah.
I think the one thing that during my dating time, looking online and stuff, I think the one thing that I saw that was very consistent was people saying that they ain't got time for bullshit.
I do. But you know what? When a man puts that in his profile, I swipe left. Because what does that tell me? You are still bitter about the former situation? No.
Yeah,
no.
I've seen it. I've seen it on women, and I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen it on women. They say I ain't got no time for BS, or keep scrolling if you don't want to deal with a strong black woman. I'm like, okay.
Oh God. I guess when I read that, to me, it comes across as like bitterness and impatience.
Yeah.
But the thing, even though like I have, experienced heartbreak and certain relationships didn't end up the way that I wanted them to, I'm still optimistic. And I feel like if you're going to enter into the dating world, you have to be open. And open to the fact that everyone who comes to the table is coming with their own baggage. What baggage you can handle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the one thing that a lot of people don't look at. I think, a lot of times, we put these lists together and we feel as though, oh yeah, I don't want nobody to come with baggage or drama. I ain't got time. I'm like, please.
Everyone has baggage, and not, people be like, I want this man to have his ish together. What does together mean? Like, we're all a work in progress. I think that's something, especially because of the experiences I've gone through, that I have a lot more empathy for people's experiences. Nobody is perfect, and I don't expect any man that I date to be perfect. I think expecting that or having a checklist, like, you got to have this, and this, you're missing some amazing opportunities,
Yeah, because what if you leave something out? That's very vital.
Right.
So I look at it like this, don't ignore the signs. I tell people that don't fall in love with potential, because the potential for pleasure.
That's the word. Yep. Don't fall in love with potential. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Do not fall in love with potential, because what could potentially pleasure you could also torture you.
Right.
And definitely don't fall in love with imagination, because that in itself, you can imagine something being one way, And then you can, totally, okay, I would have never imagined that he will hurt me this bad or she will hurt me that bad.
Right.
And I tell people, you got to fall in love with the reality of who they are right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's, I tell people that a lot because I hear so many women, they fall in love with potential.
I've done it.
And then the potential don't work out.
Yeah, I've done it. Or there's like little things about this person that's so amazing. And maybe you've been single for so long. You're like, oh, I'm just going to let that red flag go. Like whatever your non-negotiables are or your red flags are, if that person starts to show them to you, like be strong enough to walk away. I was in a situation last year. There was a lot of red flags and things that I was like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this. But because I believe my self-worth was really low, I was like, well, I've had this experience or I feel broken in this area. I'm going to let this little thing slide that I'm not comfortable with to have this person's affection. And that's why, like, really right now, the biggest thing for me is what does self-love look like? Because everything you do flows from how much you love yourself. Yeah. So that's a big focus for me right now.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad that you said that because I'm not going to lie. I wish that I would have had that same attitude, during the time when I was dating because I remember, it was a girl and I ain't going to lie. My line was, hey, I'm not going to fool with a girl that does drugs. Because, I was like, yo, if you smoke crack, I know what that means. If you smoking weed, I know what that means. And then I broke my own rule.
Yeah.
Broke my own rule. And I was, oh man, but the sex is so good.
Right.
And then after a while I was like, you know what? The sex might be good, but I'm tired of this. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the moodiness that comes with it. I'm tired of always having to, invest in your habit. I'm like, nah, I'm done, man. It might be good, but I can't do this no more.
Yeah, so interesting. I had this experience last year, and this guy, so sweet, like, communicated so well. He knew the word. He knew the Bible.
Yeah.
He was in church. Very charismatic, like, kind of like a little, like, I guess a local influencer or whatever. And I work with people who are in recovery from drug addiction, right? So weed smoking is a huge turnoff to me, particularly if like this is like a part of your everyday thing. If you're not smoking for a medical reason, but just because like you need it to live, I don't know. That's such an aversion to me, and that's hard to talk about in the Black culture because we've accepted weed so much as of who we are, and certain states are starting to legalize it. But for me, that's a turnoff. And really early, he revealed that to me that he smokes weed like a lot. Like I'm talking first thing in the day, in the middle of the day, at night, and then he would smoke and drink. And I was like, I was so turned off by it. But I over-identified with his trauma. He had some similar childhood trauma as me, and I felt so bad for him that I just thought, I can see now, I was like, I'm going to just love this man, and he's going to see that he doesn't need those things. But it backfired really bad, really bad. And so now when those red flags come, like whatever's a non-negotiable to me, like I have to walk away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally feel you on that one, seriously, because I'm not going to lie. I think the thing is that you actually start to see their true selves, their true face when you decide to walk away. And that's what I saw.
Yeah.
I saw the anger. I saw the what? Man, nigga, you ain't shit. I'm like, really?
Right.
I got all of that. I'm serious. I got all of that because I just didn't want to deal with it no more. And, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but, I can't deal with the moodiness. It's like, if you don't smoke that blunt first thing in the morning, I'm like, man, blunts ain't cheap when you compare them to joints.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And just a lot. And underneath all of that was an angry person, a person who was holding on to a lot of bitterness and a really insecure person. And
yeah. And I think the thing is that, it really started to take a toll when it was like, wait, why don't you just smoke with me? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Right.
You
Oh,
know?
no. And I'm going to take owner. It got so bad where, like, this person's like, oh, can you drive me around this neighborhood? Because I need to pick up this thing. So now that I'm accepting this thing from you, I'm starting to sacrifice, like, who I am and how I respect myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was just so bad. It was so bad. And,
Yeah.
and that's why, like, now, like, I know that was a self-worth thing. Or I felt really bad for him. And then I thought, gosh, this is the first guy that I've been with in a year and who accepts me for all of what I perceive as brokenness. Like, you have to love yourself first, because when you love yourself, you're not going to tolerate certain things.
Exactly. And if you can't pull them up, don't let them pull you down.
Yep, that's right. I like that.
Yeah. And I think the thing that really started bothering me was the neighborhoods that we had to start going in to get certain stuff. Oh, we got to go over here because he got the good. I'm like, really? I got to go to that side of town?
Right.
I'm like,
but I guess we've all done some stuff for love, and in hindsight, we're like, why did we do that?
Yeah. I'm like, man, I'm not going to lie. I did a show the other day, and unfortunately, we had some tough technical difficulties. And I wasn't able to upload it, but we were talking about certain love songs. And it was this song by the Cardigans called Love Fool. And I'm like, oh my God. There have been some moments where I have been that song. I'm serious.
Oh, yeah, you and me both.
I'm serious. I'm like, oh my God, am I that song? Am I Tupac Sucker for Love?
Yeah, you and me both. You and me both.
And then the crazy part is that when me and old girl broke up, I'm up here now. I'm going through my whole Brian McKnight phase, 6, 8, 12. I'm like, and I'm sorry. I had to ask God. I'm like, God, what is going on with me? I broke up with this girl, and it was good reasons. But why am I missing her?
Right. Oh yes. Oh man, I know it. I've been there too. Like I dated this merchant seaman last year, and I think I just now, like, don't miss him anymore.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those people. The hard thing about being a public figure, and it's weird saying that, to some degree I'm a public figure. Sometimes men expect to get from me what they see on social media or what I portray.
Yeah.
And when real life happens, like I'm depressed or I have this situation, they're like, whoa, this is too real for me. This is too real for me.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of emotional support that he didn't offer. I think he just wanted the really pretty girl from social media and not like a partner. And he didn't want to be a partner.
Yeah.
And that was hard. But there were good things about the relationship. Like, how he looked at me and how he communicated. And he was funny, and even when I know, like, my head knows that he was not a good partner, like not someone who was emotionally supportive, but my heart is like, oh, it took all of me to not do that thing that women do on Valentine's Day and slide the DMs and be like, I was thinking about you. I'm so proud of myself. I have some self-control because I have to really think, now I pray for God, I want a healthy, godly love,
Yeah.
I don't want the things that just, ignite my infatuation or make me feel good or, maybe they fill in some insecurities. What is a healthy, godly love? And if I have to wait for that, like I have to wait for that,
Yeah. I you know what? You hit the nail on the head when you said, he fell in love with one aspect of you. Because, there have been times where it's just been like, wow, you just like that one aspect, but it's more to me than just, than what I'm giving you. There's more to me than what you see on social media.
Yeah, and you know what else? It's like, I don't know that, like, I don't see anymore with men in their 30s. I guess, like, they're like, listen, I'm almost 40. I don't want to fight anymore. When I was in relationships in my 20s, like, I dated men who wanted to fight for love. Like, we broke up, and we were like, writing each other letters and let's talk it out. And, I don't feel like men are that forgiving now.
Uh-huh.
They see one part of yourself, like a heart, like living in depression, that is hard. It is hard. And sometimes, it can be hard for the partner that loves me, but not impossible. And if you can't be there for the rain and the sunshine, then
Yeah.
What is it worth, really?
Yeah. It's like that song by New Edition, Can You Stay in the Rain?
That's right. That's the truth.
I'm serious.
And I feel like I'm not sure if enough people understand that that's like what real love is.
Yeah.
Being able to stand in the rain with somebody and seeing someone maybe brokenness and saying, I'm going to love you through this. Or, you know what I mean? I just don't know that people, I haven't seen that patience from people. And maybe that just means I haven't met my one yet, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is that a lot of times people are just looking for the quick fix sometimes. Right. And people are looking for stuff that's not going to require, work. And that's why people always, the grass is always greener on the other side. But the thing that you don't realize is that even when you jump the fence, you still got to put work in.
Right.
And what you had neglected to do where you were at, you might end up having to do it any daggone way. So, oh man, I ain't trying to take the rocks and take the rocks out this grass, out this garden.
Right.
Like, man, please, you up here and jumped over here because you don't want to take the rocks out of the strawberry garden. You jumped over here and tried to get yourself some grapes, and now you got to deal with rocks, caterpillars, and a fox.
That's and you know what's the beautiful thing about therapy? Not only has it helped me in my mental health struggles, it has made me incredibly aware of like myself and my feelings. And so while that situation didn't work out, I was able to say to this person, what you said was disrespectful. It crossed a boundary for me. That's not okay. Things that I would not have been able to vocalize before. And I see a lot of men or people in their 30s that have no concept of boundaries, emotional or physical boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm telling you, therapy, I've learned how to be a healthy, supportive partner and to apologize when I'm wrong, but also to say that thing you did or said was not okay. And I'm realizing a lot of people can't handle that.
Yeah, because I think the one thing people have gotten used to is the whole codependency thing, unhealthy codependency.
Yeah. Right.
And a lot of people, they are definitely predators and they look for people who are vulnerable. I'm like, man, I've never seen so many dudes thirsty for girls with daddy issues and
yes,
I'm serious. They're it's like a whole stable full of those guys. Oh, she got daddy issues. Let me meet her.
And that's why, like, honestly, therapy helped me realize that I had daddy issues and how they had manifested themselves into my relationship. And when I saw that, it was mind blowing. And I'm like, something has to give. And it meant changing me. It really did. Yeah. When I speaking up for myself, boundaries, and you're right. If you're not conscious of how, I read this meme. If you don't address your childhood trauma, your relationships will. They will show up in your relationship. Yeah, and I don't want to be a slave to my childhood trauma. And that's a big reason why I work therapy. And I know that like the love I have for myself has to be strong first. And I really have learned in the last couple of years that like when you accept God's love, right, which is like the only unconditional love that humans really can experience. When you accept God's love, God shows you how to love yourself.
Yeah.
And then that pours over into how to love people.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing that a lot of people really don't embrace is being willing to walk away. Because I look at it like this. If you love yourself to a point where if this person ain't coming up or, they constantly putting you down and you might be praying, that God would change their heart. And if ain't no change and you like, hey, sorry, I'm not going to let you pull me down. I'm going to walk. See you.
Right.
I think a lot of times people, when they actually have the ability to cut themselves loose, that is the most freeing thing right there, because you're pretty much saying that I love myself too much to allow you to pull me down. I love myself too much for you to hurt me again. So I'm out. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to. Walking away is like sometimes the best form of self-love. When that mercy came in, I said, God, if you bring him back to me, then I know it was on you. That brother didn't come back, so I had to let it go.
Oh yeah,
Let it go.
you gotta let it go. I'm serious. Like another Brian McKnight song, learn to let it go. I'm serious, but I think a lot of times some guys, even in their trauma, and they know they done dog some girls. They looking for the girl to just be so traumatized and be so, so mentally unhealthy. Oh, hey, I didn't mean it. I'm like, don't be following him. No, he ain't worth crying over. I'm like, don't be following after him. Like, girl, come on, get yourself up.
Right.
Trust and believe. Because I remember I had this conversation the other day. I said, I'll be damned if I'm going to take and allow people to stroke me out, give me a heart attack, and next thing you know, they up here at my funeral with somebody else being consoled.
Right.
I'm like, oh, hell no. You ain't going to get that satisfaction from me.
Yep, that's right.
I'm like, man. God put too many women on this earth.
Right.
I'm serious. I look at it like this. I might not have met her yet, but it's too many of them out here for me to just kill myself over, stroke myself over. I'm like, oh, hell no. I love peace. I'm serious. I love peace. I'm serious. And I have
Me too. Peace is a beauty. Yes. Peace is a beauty. It's priceless. It is priceless.
Yeah, because I remember when I was in the relationship and it got so stressful, I started having heart palpitations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and then I remember when they stopped. They stopped after the person was gone. And I was like, Lord, what's going on?
That's telling.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I got to start working on me. I'm serious because
that's a fact.
Yeah, because I had to ask myself, why is it that I play Superman so much?
Okay.
And then I get disappointed when I run into my kryptonite.
Right.
And then I had to stop playing Jesus. Because I used to play Jesus all the time.
Yeah. I think if you're a nurturing, loving person, there sometimes that nurturing comes in rescuing, or it comes in the form of rescuing and caretaking. Yeah. And it's a very fine line that you have to be very cautious of. Like, always have to remember, I can't give to the deficit of myself. And I also, being a peer specialist has taught me this too. Like, recovery and, bouncing back from life is a two-way street. Like, I can give you my hand, but you have to grab it. I'm not going to drag you,
Yeah, exactly. Here's the one thing that I tell people. If you're trying to help a person, they have to be invested in their healing as well as deliverance.
That's right. That is right.
Because if they're not invested, you can't want it more than them. If they don't want it more than you, ain't nothing you can do for them.
That's right.
I'm serious.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, boo, go ahead, fall in love with his potential. But if he don't see it, and if he ain't driven, because you might be driven, you up here giving them books and hey, look at this video, and I'm like, hey, how come he ain't doing that? If he ain't doing that, then
that is right.
You gonna have to keep it moving. Because you can't want it for a person more than they want it for themselves. I've seen that now. I see it.
I've seen that now too. That definitely took me a lot of learning and growing to accept that. But you are very right.
Yeah,
very right.
So let me ask you this: what's been the most exciting thing about being online? Because I ain't gonna lie, I was like, Lord, if I ever got back out here, I wouldn't know what to say or do. I'm serious. I'm rusty. I'm very rusty.
Oh boy, what has been the most exciting thing? Well, I'll be very. I guess I'll be kind of. I guess it's a little vain. Sometimes you wonder if you still got it, So I'll put on the dating test. I'm like, oh, I still got it.
Oh. Miss Hope, you ain't never lost it. Let me give you some applause. Man, please. Let me give you this compliment. You have never lost it. Even on your worst day, you ain't never lost it.
Oh, you're so kind. Listen, okay.
I'm looking at her pictures. I was like, Lord, if me and my wife don't make it.
Listen, we still carry a lot of our childhood or teenage insecurities. People don't believe this, but when I was in high school, I was like the frumpy friend. Have you ever heard that term? Or like,
yeah, I heard that.
The designated ugly fat friend.
Yeah.
I wasn't like super overweight, but like I had this trio of girls that I hung out with. They were like size zeros. I was developing a lot faster than they were. I was really quirky and kind of awkward. A sister was getting no love in high school, okay? I had my first boyfriend, I think, when I was 16 or 17, and he was odd and quirky and nerdy, and nobody really wanted to mess with him like that.
Yeah.
So I still carry a little bit of that. And I've gained some weight, and I really appreciate that we're in a time where like men are really in love with curvy women. I love that. So that's been great about online dating. And then the one person I had the virtual date with, like, just really, really funny. I have to tell you, if men don't know this, like laughter and comedy is one of the most attractive traits ever. And connecting with this person has probably been the most exciting connection I've had in the last 2 or 3 months of being online. It just makes me like laugh, and we talk about life and different kind of stuff. Like, I really enjoy connecting to people's spirits and energy. So that's been exciting.
Yeah. So that's the most important thing. Definitely being able to tap into a person's energy and connect with that. Because, the Bible says that the blessing of the Lord makes rich. And he adds no sorrow with it. So I look at it like this, if you want to connect, if you and that person vibe and they are adding, to your life, then that's the blessing of the Lord. I look at it, you got to start looking at relationships as math. Can they multiply? Can they add? If they start subtracting and dividing, like, nah, you got to get the hell out, Dodge, boo. I love you. I'm serious.
No, I really, I like that. I like that a lot. And, being in a depressive episode, because honestly, this one lasted for about 4 months.
Yeah.
When I came out of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I really miss people. Mm-hmm. I got on social media and I was like, man, I miss talking to people and connecting with people. And so getting to know this guy has been really nice and interesting. We come from different backgrounds. Like, I miss those type of connections.
Yeah. So, I mean, just you definitely, hey, I just want to encourage you on your journey.
Thank you.
Take it slow.
For sure. That's a fact.
Take it slow and allow trust to develop, because I think the one thing that I run into a lot with people is that as soon as they get in a relationship, then they start talking about trust matters. I'm like, nah, you need to start doing the whole trust thing during the dating phase. And if they're unfaithful, then you can imagine what it's going to be like when you get in an actual serious relationship or even a marriage. I'm like, you can't marry to trust. You date to trust. And if they fail that test, Nah, man, they ain't marriage material. I'm like, man. If he was up here, had a baby on you while y'all was dating, what you think gonna happen when he get married?
Right. Right.
Serious.
I'm also really happy to be like in a a season of life, or just a part of life where I'm like happy with myself and by myself. Yeah. And I think that's the best kind of situation to be dating and exploring, so you don't lose yourself in that.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell people, always, see who you are. You know what I mean? Always explore, always, venture out, definitely overcome the fears and everything. So, hey, I am happy for where you are right now.
Thank you, me too.
So what's been going on? Are you going to go back doing the makeup thing? Because I used to love watching you with the whole lip gloss and all like that. Yeah.
That's so funny. You're like, a couple of people have asked me that, and I'm not like, listen, I know some makeup artists who are like Bob.com. And so people are like, girl, when you bring in the Makeup Mondays? So, yes, we're going to have to do that again very soon. I did a super cute Valentine's Day look over the weekend, and I think I might do that one. And I just love, like, in the morning when I would do Makeup Mondays, I'd have my coffee. It was like I was chatting with all my girlfriends. So, yes, we're going to do that very soon.
Okay, that's good. Let me give you some applause.
Yes, Makeup Monday.
Yes, coming back.
Coming back.
So is it safe to say right now that Good Girl Chronicles is okay? We doing part 2 of this?
Yes. hey, who knows? By the summer, I could be booed up. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, because I look at it, I'm like, your whole thing it's like a story. Seriously.
Oh,
I'm surprised you ain't start writing a book.
I am. And, that's the hard thing about being depressed. Like, it kills my creativity. So I've gotten back to writing my book. On my YouTube channel, Good Girl Chronicles, I've, introduced a couple of chapters on the book that I'm excited about.
That's great.
So, yeah, I'm back to writing for sure. I've thought about, a podcast, too, or Don't Shade Me, and It's Not What You Think. I actually thought about an OnlyFans page because there are a lot of content creators, and they're not all sexual creators. I'm telling you, these people are making bank.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to be one of them. I'm serious.
Right? You know what I mean? So who knows?
So, hey, look. I definitely see you as a podcaster. I definitely see you doing, if you decide you want to go to radio or go back on TV, I'm like, you got that. I'm serious. You got the personality. You got all of that, to make it happen and everything. And
I honestly have been thinking about, a career in media again to some form. So I'm trying to put some things in place so I can start applying for those types of jobs.
Yeah, because here's the one thing, and I don't know you personally, but you make people feel warm. That's the one thing. Aww. That's the vibe that I get from you. And when people feel warm, they're more comfortable to open up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And when people open up and they feel warm, they feel comfortable, then you can have the best interviews ever. Seriously.
Oh man, that is the best compliment. Thank you so much.
So definitely, go with that and everything. But I just want to say thank you for definitely coming on our platform, being transparent.
Yes, thank you. This was the best. I feel like we just had this great conversation. You have so many gems, when it comes to advice. So just thank you.
Oh, hey, Miss Hope, no problem. Because trust and believe, I'm like, hey, I done lived it. I'm serious.
Right.
I'll be turning 50 next month. And
Happy early birthday.
Oh, hey, thank you. So I'm looking at my life. I'm like, wow, Lord, I'm just thankful to just be here, because when I look back at my 20s and some of the decisions that I made, I'm like, man, there are times where I feel like Eddie Murphy. I'm serious. Like Eddie Murphy Raw. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, man, I threw my penis on the crap table many a night. I'm like, oh my God.
You might have a book in you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've written 2 books, but I think right now I probably need to make a book about my life.
I love it. I'm here for it. I'll buy it.
Seriously, but I think most of the time, most of the stories that I've shared on my platform, just being transparent. I mean, even when it came to counseling, I think, man, my counselor, oh my God, when I say save my life, he literally saved my life. When he retired, I was broken. I was like, come on, Doc, you can't be leaving me, man. Because every time I would have success, he'd be the first person I run to.
Right.
I'm serious. And he saw me go from one extreme to another extreme, and I'm like, man, I am forever grateful for my therapist. His name is Dr. Turner. Dr. Turner, oh my God, and the crazy thing is, I used to wonder, like, why do you live in New York and you practice here in Delaware?
Right.
But he will make that run. I'm serious. And I love him. I ain't gonna lie, he's the only man I probably looked at. I was like, Lord, if I didn't have a father, he'd be the one I want.
Wow, that's amazing.
Seriously, that's and some of our conversations, and I think what I truly admired about him is that he made me look at things from another aspect.
Right.
And he also challenged me to come up with decisions that are going to work for me. But then he also, the one thing I love about him is that, he was honest with me. He's like, yo, man, you can't do that. That's wrong. I was like, all right, Doc, I see it. So, yeah, he literally saved my life. So I tell anybody.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's why I'm for counselors. Seriously.
Yeah,
I love professional counseling. Not saying that church counseling don't work, but sometimes you have to get professional counseling. I love,
pastoral
counselors and so forth. I'm not going to try to discount them, But sometimes you need to go outside the church to get some answers.
I agree. And you can do both. You know, you can be in the Word and have a counselor. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So I applaud you for getting, what you need to get. And I tell anybody, I'm like, man, look, if you didn't have some issues with the heart, you definitely need some counselors, because trust and believe, right. you don't want to be that person that's outside. I'm serious. I remember one time in my life, oh my God. And I had to catch myself. I was up here like, I was so into this daggone girl. Oh my God. Miss Hope. I got so upset. I was like, oh yeah, me and my friends, we going out. I'm like, hold on, how come we ain't spending time for Christmas? Well, I'm going over here to this Christmas party. And do you not know I went to where she was and stood outside in the parking lot because I was like,
oh, my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my heart.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, she come out here with some other dude, it's going to be some problems.
I love how honest you are, because love will have you like that. And, honestly, a lot of my breakups, like, counseling has got me through it without, falling apart and beating myself up for it and understanding why it didn't work and stuff. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, I love the fact that that you came out of that, but I had to come to myself at that moment. I'm like, man, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah, I love how you're doing crazy stuff. I'm one of those women who does grand gestures, like, I get it.
And the whole thing that you was talking about, fighting for love, I'm like, I believe in that. I'm serious. I think the thing that really gets me is, and I mean, this used to piss me off when me and my wife was dating. Her whole nonchalant. I'm like, you ain't fighting for us. And her
I'm good. With or without you, brother.
and her thing was, well, if you decide you want to walk out this door, I'm going to cry, but I ain't going to let you see it. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
Cause see, I was used to them girls that fighting with. Oh, you want somebody to get all up in your face and follow you around the house.
I respect it. Hey, listen, we all fight different.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I would cry in silence.
Yeah, and the thing was, during that, I was used to that, because that way I know she loved me, because look, she followed me around the house, and she got the finger, and she just rolling her head and her eyes, and and sucking her teeth. Good. And that's what I thought love was. And then we would make up, but all it really was the cycle of abuse.
Right.
Seriously, that's all it really was. And then I had to get to the place where I'm like, we got to get off this cycle. Seriously.
Yeah. Feel that.
And I really, really started, had to work on myself. Because I, was always the type of guy. It's her fault. You got something to do with it too, Negro. Don't take yourself out the equation. Trust and believe. So, I really had to start working on that. And, I think the one thing about relationships is that they are a journey. Now, granted.
Yep, I agree.
Even when you call yourself getting to a destination, the journey never ends. Because, you're 37. When you get 40, you're going to be a different person.
True.
Seriously. And I think a lot of times, when you start having kids, that'll be different. When you get married, that'll be different. And when the kids grow up and leave, that's when you really have to see, okay, what do we have now? Because now, couples, they stay together for the kids. And then when the kids roll out, they ain't got nothing no more.
Okay.
So I look at it like this. You're going to have to rediscover love every day. Love has to be a choice.
I like that. Yeah.
Seriously, love has to be a choice.
I agree.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, I choose to love. And a lot of times we feel as though that love has to be, grand gestures and stuff like that. It's just like yesterday. Yesterday was probably the first time that me and my wife didn't go all out for Valentine's Day. I went out, got a couple pizzas. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, I'm serious. So, and I mean, trying to think, what did we watch? We watched Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, that's what's up.
So, that. But I was like, Lord, please, God, please. I don't want to watch Netflix. I don't want to watch a romantic comedy.
Right. That sounds like a great Valentine's to me. It really does.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. It probably would have been better if I had some red sangria.
Next year.
Maybe next year. Well, her birthday coming up. So,
Aww.
so I think, I'm gonna see if I can get her drunk with the brown liquor.
There you go.
Oh, here, girl, take this shot.
Choosing love daily. I like that.
Yeah, because I think the thing is that, when it comes to love, we have to get to the place where love is a choice. And a lot of times when people start seeing people's flaws and people's nakedness and vulnerability, it's like, ooh, I don't like what I see.
Right.
And then sometimes they have the tendency, even when they start seeing a person's weakness, that they turn the love off. And I think a lot of times we got to begin to really, if I'm going to love you, like you said earlier, have somebody that's not going to be a savior, but, love you when you're going through the seasons of life, loving you while you unpacking baggage, because, there can be some baggage that you unpack that's ugly.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like, we all come with baggage, and some of this we can unpack together. Some of that you're going to have to unpack yourself.
That's
but
right.
Even as we are unpacking, I'm not going to leave because I got baggage too. I might pop open the bag. You be like, oh my God, Leon, for real? Yeah,
right.
For real. Yeah, for real. This is a dark side of me that I'm revealing this to you, and I'm unpacking it because I don't want it to be a detriment in our relationship.
That's what I'm looking forward to. The season of life that, somebody will be like, listen, this is me, this is you, I accept it, and I'm going to choose to love you.
Yeah.
With the baggage that you've shown, yeah.
Yeah, and that trust. The trust that I can reveal this part of me and you won't use it against me.
Right, that's right.
You know what I mean? Because I ain't going to lie, some people, they love it when people unpacking stuff because they can gather information and use it against you.
Yep.
So I'm like, man, you're going to take and weaponize my baggage. You're going to turn my bag into a bomb.
Yes, and that's that was another hard thing about the seamen that I dated. That was like the first time I think I really unloaded a lot of my the baggage or the emotional trauma I've had with my parents, and used that against me, and that's like something you just can't forget.
Yeah, exactly. You can't allow somebody to take and use that most vulnerable part of you. And
that's why I've learned that people need to earn the right to hear your shame or trauma story. That's not something that you lead with. Someone needs to earn that right. So that's something that I'm going to be a lot more careful about who I share it with and how I share it.
Yeah, exactly. I totally get you on that, seriously. And I want more people to really, start thinking like that because, everybody doesn't come to help. Seriously.
That's right. And I learned a lot about myself in that, and that was a pivotal lesson about who deserves to hear your trauma story.
Yeah. And I think here's one thing I want you to take away with this. There's definitely a difference between loyalty and faithfulness. And I think a lot of times we always look for that loyal person. But who can find a faithful person? Are they faithful to add? Are they faithful, to be there when all hell breaks loose? Because loyal people, you got loyal people. Oh yeah, I'm loyal to the destruction of you. I'm loyal to that fact. I'm gonna watch you drown. I'm gonna show up every day so I can see you drown. And the crazy thing is, we don't look at that. Yeah, they're loyal, but what if they added to you?
That's right, adding. Yeah, I'm really taking that with me. Right, who's adding to your life? Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie. You got some friends. They will call just to get the B on you. Like, oh, hey, what's going on? You ain't heard from this person in years. Or you trying to get yourself together, and next thing you know, here come the devil. Girl, I was just thinking about you. What you doing?
That's right. That's a fact.
Catch you in a moment of weakness and loneliness. Oh, that's when you gotta watch out, because it's like you one step away from breakthrough, and here come the temptation. Seriously. Been there.
Yep.
Definitely been there. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Lord, I'm trying to get out of this backslidden state. And next thing I know, here come old girl. I'm serious. Ghost of Christmas,
No,
ghost of girlfriend's past. I'm serious. Ghost of girlfriend's past. I'm like,
I'm telling you, that's why I block them on all platforms.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. You're going to have to do that. And I did this with a friend the other day. No, it was about a good month ago. Good friend. I mean, we've been friends like before I wrote my first book. And I ain't going to lie, I actually wanted to date her. But, I ended up being in the friend zone. And it was good. Oh, yeah, it was good. Because now I look at it, the friend zone actually saved me.
Okay.
Don't ever discount the friend zone.
Yeah.
The friend zone actually saved me because the one thing that I started to see was this friend, I'm like, I don't even have a word for this. It's like she hated men, but she wanted, what men could provide. And I'm like, I don't get that. You say you want kids, but you hate men. I don't get it.
Right.
You want everything that comes with a man, but you don't want a man. And I mean, hardcore feminists and everything. I totally get that. But then I think the straw that broke the camel's back with me and her was I put up a post on social media. Just putting out my opinion on certain things. And the crazy thing is she began to comment on her. Then one of my other female friends challenged her on what she said.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And so, I was like, all right, well, I didn't take it serious. And then my one female friend was like, yo, you're going to have to start, really looking for your tribe and audience because one of your friends is, they putting you out here like that. I was like, she just giving her opinion. And then she copied the post, put it on her page, and then all her friends is blasting me.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, yeah. And so I began to look. I was like, okay, I get that. I'll take that. So I began to scroll through her page and see if she ever shared any of my positive stuff.
Right.
Not one thing.
Oh.
So I was like,
She was looking for something.
So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all the times we done spoke on the phone, all the times I encouraged her, and I'm like, the one time me and you have a disagreement, you allowing your friends, I'm free range. So I'm like,
right.
I'm done. I said, hey, if this offended you, and the crazy part about it, we tried to talk about it, and then I began to really see the pattern. I was like, yeah, I'm falling in one of them groups. Like, I'm only here for what you can get out of me.
Right.
So I just said, nah, I'm good. I blocked her on social. I blocked her on all my posts, deleted the number and everything.
Yep. I have to do the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, deleted the number and everything because I got to thinking to myself, like, so if this is what you're saying about me, or this is what you're saying about one of the friends that I'm with, I'm like, I can imagine what you might be saying about me.
True story. She sounded like she was like fishing for something for sure.
Oh yeah. But the crazy thing is that now I see that if we would have dated, it would have been totally toxic.
Right.
And I'm glad that I dodged a bullet. Took me a while to see it. And another female had to review it.
Away.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's like, wow, I didn't even see it. And it took another woman to show me it. I was like, wow. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, thank God for friends.
That's right. Your friends should be like, hey, this don't look right.
Mm-hmm. I was like, man, let me play that song. That's what Friends Are For by Dionne Warwick and Gladys Knight and Stevie Wonder. But, I think the one thing that I learned through all of this is that, friendship is like marriage. Seriously. It's like you got to earn that. You know what I mean? It's like love. You got to prove it. Seriously.
That's the truth. I read this amazing book last year called Relational Intelligence by Dr. Darius Daniels.
Yeah. What's that about?
Oh my gosh, it's so great. It's about like the different type of relationships we have in our lives. Like you have a friendship, you have an advisor, you have an advocate, associate, and like really made me look at friendship differently. Like that friends shouldn't be a term we just pass around with. Friends are people that get emotional intimacy with you. They're your inner circle, right? Not everybody is your friend. Like that's something that people earn.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book about relationships. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, you know what? I think I definitely gotta get that book. But I think what I'm gonna I think one things I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna make a phone call today to my friend that helped me out. I'm like,
that's what's up.
You know what? Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me and seeing stuff and me dodging a bullet. Thank you for showing me that.
That's what's up. Yep. If that God put it on your heart to think about that person, yes, make that call today.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely make that call today. But hey, Miss Hope, I do hope that you do the podcast because I'm serious. That could definitely be you. If you decide that you want to take the Good Girl Chronicles and go and take it into Patreon and have sponsors and stuff, please. Yeah. Make that money. Get that money, girl.
That's what's up. Thank you for that encouragement.
Get that money, and I'm gonna be like one of the thieves that was on the cross. Please, Lord, remember me when you come into your kingdom. You know it. Yeah. But hey, I think the one thing that I love your transparency. I love your bubbly personality, and don't ever lose that. I'm serious. I mean, I don't know you personally, but please promise me you will always keep that.
That's what's up. It's the ABCs of me. That's the inherent part of me. So I'm glad that people feel that.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, you make people feel warm. So that'll definitely be an asset when you start interviewing people and people start opening up because you bring that. And that's what I enjoy about our interviews is because,
that means the world to me. Thank you.
No problem. So, hey, give your dog a kiss for me. I ain't going to lie. One of these days,
I will.
I'm going to own a pet one day. I'm trying to convince my wife. No, we can't have no pet. Like, how you going to say we can't have no pet? You want another baby. I'm serious.
Dogs are the best.
The best. Pets are the best. And she up here, well, they going to cost money. So do kids. We just got rid of 4 of them.
I welcome it. Bring the dog in.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm like, Lord, I want a pug. That's the kind of dog
yes,
I want.
They're so adorable.
Yep, either a pug or a French bulldog.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I support that decision all the way.
And I said, hey, look, if I get a dog, I'm gonna name him after the little baby Yoda from the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's so cute. When that happens, be sure to post lots of pictures. I want to see it.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna dress him up for Christmas. I'm gonna dress him.
Yes.
I'm gonna be like, hey, he gonna have an Easter outfit.
Yes, I'm here for all of that.
All of that. So I said, hey, look, I ain't never had a dog, but I'm going to make up for all the time that I didn't have a dog. We going to be all over the place.
That's right.
I'm serious. He going to be riding in the back or riding up front. I'm like, come on, let's go, Pickles.
That sounds like how I treat Boo. I love it.
Yep, exactly. And I that's the one thing that they also say that pets make you live longer. Seriously.
Really? Oh, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, they say people that have pets, they live longer. So I'm like, I need it. I'm like, man, I need to live long. I'm like, man, these cold
That's
streets.
right. Well, me and Boo, we gonna have gray hair together. That's right.
Yeah. So I'm like, I need that, especially now. I'm like, man, please, I'm going to turn 50. I need something.
Yep, I support the dog. I love it.
Yeah, because I look at, like I told my wife, I say, hey, look, you might come in, I might walk in the door, you might have an attitude, but the dog will always be happy to see me.
I'm telling you, they add so much excitement to your life. That's the truth.
Exactly. So I just said, man, that's what I'm going to do. But hey, Miss Hope, I thank you for today.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to, to everything that you're going to bring because I just been, looking at your journey and everything. And I was like, Lord, she ain't did nothing in a while. Let me go check up on her.
I was hibernating, but I'm good. I'm back.
Cool.
I'm back.
Let me give you some applause.
Yay! Yes, she's back.
She's back. Lauren Hope is back. Good Girl Chronicles is back. So, hey, I thank you for your comeback. That's the God knows truth. So, hey, you have yourself a blessed day. I can't wait to upload this episode. Seriously.
Awesome. Me too. You let me know.
No, it's going to be up today.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, guys, that was Lauren Hope. She is making the comeback. So, hey, I'm not going to lie, man. We have had a good time today. I thank God for Lauren Hope and her transparency and for her journey. Her journey is not complete. It is definitely beginning. And that's the one thing about life. We have to look at the fact. Let me give you this. We have to begin to look at the fact of where God brings us and what he does for us. Because when you look at life, life is a journey. And even when you think that you're at the destination, another journey begins. And that's how life is. Life never stops. You have rest stops per se, but they're never permanent stops. And so this is what life is about. It's about going here, fueling up, getting gas, doing certain things, and then keep it moving. Seriously, because life will always be a journey. Life is prophetic. Life is seasonal. Life is transitional. And that's the one thing that we saw with this episode today, man. Lauren Hope is a lovely person, and I look forward to what God is going to be doing and bringing in her life. So, guys, with that, I want you to be blessed. Have yourself a good day. Get some of that 50% off candy. And with that being said, guys, we are out.
Walk in the truth that makes you free every day. Follow Brother Leon on all social media outlets.